One of the things I wish I would have done earlier in my career and not waited till more recently is that you don't have to be an expert to give back to the hacker community. And the reason why this has been just like stuck in my head recently is because DEF CON 30. Now, whether you're going to DEF CON 30 or not, I think there is something so cool about their call for everything, whether you're a musician or an artist. But the thing I want to talk about is the speaking call for papers, where you go to DEF CON and you talk about what you've been working on, new projects, new exploits, new things to share and give back to the hacker community. And the reason I think this is so been stuck in my head, and by the way, this is gonna be a little rambly of a video. I'm just excited about DEF CON because it's going to be in Caesars Forum. You have like 30,000 hackers coming down and just, here's the corporate term, collaborating. But the core of it is the call for papers for speakers, talking at the different tracks. And it doesn't matter whether you're an expert in the field, you're new to the field, whether you're going to DEF CON or not, there's something awesome in the way DEF CON does its call for speakers. Because you don't need to have a published paper. You don't need to have like a 100-point PowerPoint slide. You don't even have to have references to other conferences you've spoken at, because DEF CON curates a large spectrum of different topics, whether it's from experts like reversing new tools or new payloads to beginners, because oftentimes the best people to teach beginners are ones who are only a few steps in front of them. It's not the experts, because the experts kind of forget what it's like being a beginner. So that's one of the things I love about their call for papers, because it requires an abstract, a name. It's not a huge form you fill out. Heck, it's an email which is in plain text. Even in their frequently asked questions, they have a section which is, if you've never done this before, you've come to the right place. And oftentimes they're looking for people who are just sharing their passions, and they call it out. You don't have to be an expert. I think back to like my favorite talks at DEF CON, and it's like Zaz talking about how his desktop got stolen, and the story unfolds of how he broke into his own computer, logged into his own computer, and started finding pictures of the person who stole it and GPS coordinates and other things they had stolen. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous, and it wasn't a technical talk. Thinking back to the NFC giant antenna where they could read NFC tags from 100 yards away. That's ridiculous and terrifying at the same time. You might not have a story here, or you might not have a new antenna, but what have you been working on the past 2 years, which you can share and you could teach someone who was 2 years behind you? And I think for me, that's the core of it. You don't need to be an expert. You need to have passion. You need to delight in the pursuit of knowledge. I mean, heck, that's the RFC for hacker. And I think so many of us suffer from imposter syndrome, where we go, I'm not good enough. I even heard I'm not good enough to go to DEF CON. Like, that is insane. DEF CON is a perfect place to just share your passion. So what have you been working on the last 2 years, which maybe you should submit as a call to action for DEF CON, or a call for papers for DEF CON? You don't need to be an expert. You just need to love what you do. And what's the worst that can happen? They say no? Awesome. Fail better, fail often, and hack on.